obviously people know Mediaocean as the financial contractual media management backbone for the agencies. But by virtue of Mediaocean's decision to acquire Flash Talking last year, there's a statement and recognition that creative is really important to the outcomes for clients and their agency partners. So over the last 20 years at Flash Talking, developing and executing dynamic creative campaigns, we have learned a few things about what works and in the open web, and now moving our technology as part of the Mediaocean family into social, really figuring out how to apply those lessons in the new social context, new context for us.
Excellent. And you know, John, behind this, we are at Cannes. It is all about creativity. It's about great work, maybe great art, but most importantly, it's about things that help people think, feel, and do. Some of my clients love your DCO offering. They really do. A couple of other folks I've worked with have said, is that great creativity? Is that just throwing stuff against the wall till something sticks? What are your thoughts?
Well, look, dynamic creative is a tool in your creative toolbox. At the end of the day, great creative is not defined by personalization per se. Great creative is defined by the ability to engage the consumer's attention and move their thinking or their feeling to where the brand wants it to go. But relevance is really a necessary component for that to happen, because in our current media environment where we're all multitasking, consuming ads and content while we're on the go and standing in line at the grocery store, watching TV with our laptop and our phones in our hands, we are all distracted and multitasking. And the human brain has a fantastic capacity to filter out information that is not relevant to us and to enable us to do those multitasks. Unfortunately, much of what gets filtered out is advertising. Unless your brain perceives at some level that advertising or that message is relevant to you. And then the mechanism of the brain focuses in on it and pays attention. And that's why relevance is so key. And while you don't have to have personalization to have relevance, it is a very, very powerful tool in the toolbox. But just dynamic creative in itself doesn't get you that. It's got to be wrapped in a great creative idea. As our previous speaker said, you want a big idea that has legs. And so the idea has to be extendable in a way that makes sense in order for you to be able to personalize it and still have the integrity of that great idea and the sort of common thread of the message as consumers move from media to media and environment to environment, or else it's not great creative.
Got it. So, John, what I'm hearing you say is that you kind of define great creative as a very pragmatic, it works. It moves people, it helps people think something about something, it helps them feel something about something, and eventually do something about something? Yeah. Does it have to be measurable?
Well, I don't think everything has to be measurable. Once you have a level of comfort as an advertiser that your dollars are well spent. Until you get to that point, advertisers are going to want to measure things. And luckily for us and at Flash Talking, our clients have invested a ton in measuring the impact of their dynamic campaigns. And that's why they continue to spend real money behind it, because the results are not incremental. The results are orders of magnitude. I could throw out, and these are the studies that our clients do, they're not the studies that we do, but we have CPG clients who measure their dynamic campaigns against shopper panels down to the exposed user and show that the propensity to buy increases 50%, 100%, in one case 700% when exposed to dynamic campaigns versus traditional messages. And it all comes back to the ability to grab and maintain attention.
So you're really saying it's about relevance, it's about attention. Is great creative always great creative, or does it wear out?
Great creative tends not to wear out. Truly great creative, like any great piece of art, stands the test of time. Good creative wears out.
So great creative is tied to the brand?
By definition, yes. If the creative product does not tie to the brand and add and enhance the consumer's perception of that brand, it can't by definition be great creative.
Great.
Now, what does McKinsey know about creative? Here's McKinsey at Cannes What does McKinsey know about creative?
Wasn't really expecting that. Um, well, look, I'm trying. I am trying so hard. This is what a creative McKinsey partner looks like. Got the black T-shirt. I'm trying to get the blazer to cooperate. But what the heck? What do we know about creative? We actually know some things about creative. Maybe not what makes great creative, but we know the power of great creative. The financial power of great creative is the final breakthrough in removing waste from your marketing. If you think about it, John, we can reach people. We can recognize pockets of opportunity all day. I can do any one of those things analytically and do it pretty well. I can find those granular pockets of growth. I can aggregate them up. I can create audiences out of them, and until recently, could kind of even target them. The juice is gone out of those things. If I'm looking at this and saying, how do I get that 700% lift? How do I remove waste? Finally taking out the last, I often say I'm in the waste management business. How do I take out that final bag of trash? It's unproductive creative. Did I say that at Con? I said that at Con. But it's about removing the unproductive creative, finding that great creative. We believe that great creative is the final aspect here. It's tying all the pieces together, and that great creative will be productive. It will be financially productive. It will stand the test of time. And in the economic times we're going into, where there's going to be a lot of pullback, that's how brands can stay important. The brands themselves can stay relevant, and the great creative will power the brand pricing power into the future.
I love the trash analogy, because one of the things that we see pretty consistently in we have creative analytics is that a relatively small percentage of the creative executions drive a disproportionate amount of the success. So otherwise stated, there's a lot of trash mixed in with the good stuff, and the challenge is being able to discern which is which, because if you can do that, the easiest optimization you could ever do in a media plan is to just reduce the rotation on the weak performing creative. You don't have to reallocate media dollars, you just take the bad creative out of the mix. It's magical how quickly that increases campaign results.
Well, I think our clients see that when they use various things along the lines of DCO, that there's a Darwinian aspect of it. It pulls the bad stuff out. I also think at McKinsey we're super excited about some of the new analytics where you can actually begin to measure emotion. You can use various forms of easy measurement out there to see what is actually moving people, what's making a difference, and then begin to predict what things will make a difference. Measuring it afterwards, that's good. Being able to predict it, that's way, way better. Those are the things that are exciting us right now.
We did an acquisition recently of actually a company that's been a partner for a long time, and what they do is computer vision technology that essentially visually deconstructs the elements of the ad so that we can do the analysis not on the ad as a whole but on the elements that comprise the ad. And what we're learning in that is that you can begin to predict what elements are going to create a better ad. We have a travel client where the analysis showed that, you know what, the ads showing happy vacationers and human beings in the ads performed way better than pictures of the cruise ship and the end destination without people in it. Sounds obvious, but that wasn't apparent until the research showed it. But now moving forward, the creative emphasizes the people who are having a good time in the environment, and the results have followed.
Consultants like obvious things. We're really good at hearing that and then saying it with confidence and charging it for it. But when we look at this, John, a lot of the things that we do see is, all the CMOs I work with, all our clients are saying, how do I begin to actually manage this? How can I really look at my advertising? Budgets are going to get challenged. How can I really make sure that I'm getting what I need? Audiences are eroding. I can't buy the reach and frequency on linear that I used to. If I'm a broad reach product, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I think right now, as we begin to look at the power of creative and really focus on that and say, if I have great creative, I can take down my frequency. I can begin to pull those pieces out and really get the full equation working on all cylinders. It's really something that will be extremely powerful. I don't think we're there yet, but there's the experiments that are starting. The science is beginning to be there. It's an exciting time, and I think the economic situation we're moving into is going to accelerate that.
Well, Andy's motion, we got to wrap up. One last note, if I could sort of give clients and advertisers one piece of advice is process matters when you're doing this. And in this new environment, start with spending way more time on your creative brief. I see a lot of advertisers that sort of take that as a perfunctory exercise, but the environment's too complicated to not be really thoughtful in terms of how that brief is constructed, so your creative agency and your media agency have the right blueprint to start.
I'm going to borrow that concept and start calling it zero-based briefing.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.